you did the segue to the men's basketball team. What do you make of them, and what did you make of the game against Australia earlier today?
Yeah, getting better for sure. They're really good, by the way, and they should be good. Like everybody's going like, oh, it's not, it should not be a surprise. Canada has the second most NBAers, with the exception of the United States. Now, keep in mind different rules, which you really could, if you followed FIBA, Johnny, I know we've covered it for many, many years. Covering FIBA basketball is different. It's like
Yeah.
I call it like blocker. It's like the European teams play soccer, basketball. They move it so much. There's so much strategy. They pack the paint. They're physical. It's different than what we watch here in the NBA. And NBA teams struggle with it. But having said that, they're the best players in the world in the NBA for a reason. And we've seen it at the United States level. We're seeing it in Canada. I thought the first game against Greece, I would give Canada probably a B minus. I didn't think they, were quite there. And it gave them, like, I'll give them some leniency because it's game one. Game two, if you watch the first half today, I thought they were a C minus. And not because they played terribly bad. It's just that their defense was Matador defense, and the Aussies can play. By the way, they have the third most NBA players, so they got a lot of guys there and can play. And like Josh Giddey was going off, and then I'm watching the third quarter, and I'm thinking, okay, they could get knocked off here if they don't play better, and they did. That second half, they played to an A in that second half, so give them like probably a B now after two games. They're getting better and better. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I'm sure you guys have watched it. He is honestly the most unique basketball player, and I'm not saying it because I'm a Canadian. He's the most unique basketball player I think I've ever watched. Kind of like Luka Doncic, who's very unique. Shai is cool, calm. He's almost unstoppable. RJ Barrett, what a story that has become, full circle. His dad wore number 9. His dad was the captain in 2000 last time. He was 3 months old. The family, unfortunately, has gone through a terrible tragedy with the loss of Nathan. RJ's brother was a player, and Rowan's son. And I think that's also galvanizing. But he played so good in the second half. I don't think there's any stopping them en route to the podium. But FIBA basketball, those short
hold on.
10-minute quarters.
Spain is no pushover, Rod.
No, they're not. And the thing is too, Jordi Fernandez, which that's kind of a revenge game for him too. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's Spanish, and he's playing against Spain. Now Spain looked really good against Greece, and did not look good against Australia. So I think if Canada, I like what Canada's done. They go deep into the bench. They're very unselfish. I thought they might be a more selfish team. I thought you'd see Shai handle it a lot more. Jamal Murray's getting some minutes finally. Dylan Brooks has been a factor. Dylan the villain. But I really watch faces and I watch emotions. And there's a real brotherhood to this team, which you like. Now, again, anything can happen. They still will go to the quarterfinals if they lose to Spain. It's not going to work out. The math will not work out. But I believe you have to beat Spain so you can avoid the United States at all costs until the possible final. Because if you play the United States beforehand,
you're going to lose.
Yeah. And I was on a radio show the other day, and everybody's talking Canada up, and the United States is the best team on the planet. And it's the old Herb Brooks thing, Johnny. You can play that team 10 times. You're going to lose 9 times, but hopefully that one day. And then people will go, oh, Canada's got NBAers. We've got one runner-up perennial all-star. They've got 12 all-stars. That's the difference. But, with a game plan, and because it's 10-minute quarters, maybe you can get under their skin. Maybe Dylan Brooks. You never know. It could happen. But I really, based on what I've seen today, I go back to your original question. I would say I really see a Canada-US gold medal game.
Well, that wouldn't be a surprise. We were hoping that would happen at the beginning of the games.
Yeah.
And
but y'all kind of thought Serbia.
Like
you thought Serbia didn't look good. The team I would worry about is France. Just because of the power they have. That Victor Wembanyama, I don't know how much you guys watch him. He's unbelievable. He's Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is 7 feet 4 inches.
Yeah.
He is.
But that leads, Rod, to the next question: is how important in the FIBA game? How important is size?
Canada doesn't seem to think so. I think they would, if Zach Edey would have made this team, I think that's undeniable because he's 7'4" and he could clog the middle. And for the people who are watching and listening that don't know much about FIBA, I mean, the rules are different because there's 10-minute quarters. You only get 5 fouls. That's a factor. So you're not 6 where you get knocked out. The ball is a little bit different. Those guys could play with freaking tennis balls. It doesn't matter. You can knock the ball off the rim. Of course, right. That's a big thing. The court is smaller. The 3-point lines are shorter. I don't think those mean as much as the court is smaller. It certainly means a lot. What does mean a lot is there's no defensive 3-second violation. So you just pack the paint. The Giants. That's what happened against Greece the other day. They put all their Giants in the middle, and you try to pen. You better knock down shots because you're not getting in the middle. And if you go in the middle, it's a football game. It's a rugby game. It's so size is big. Canada. It's funny that they say Canada's undersized. You do have Kelly Olynyk, who's near 7 feet. Kem Birch, Kem Birch played great today, by the way, came off the bench. But they don't have the bulk that some of these teams have. They don't have like that Rudy Gobert, and they don't have the pedigree of players. A lot of the bigger guys for Team Canada are outside players. They're kind of shooters. They play outside. Kelly Olynyk can bang inside, but size is really big. John, it cannot be overestimated how big it is. And the United States has a lot of size. United States has a lot of size.